Okay, we are in section 8 here on upskilling, and we're talking about the personal brand architect. So this is one of my favorites as well. I created this. I spend a lot of time with Gray Matter members talking about personal brand. And one of the things that is almost 100% true, and I mean high 90s% true, is that when I talk to someone about doing a personal branding exercise, and they are faced with either the conversation with me or a blank page, and they have to try to unpack who they are, what they're all about, what they're good at, the impact they've had at different organizations, you know, their leadership philosophy, you name it. People really struggle, right? They say that about authors too. The greatest enemy of a writer is the blank page. Well, it's no different here in personal brand building. And so everybody talks about building personal brand, but very few people talk about how to do it, short of offering you consulting for $5,000 to $7,000 to help you build a framework for a personal brand. So what I did was take a little bit of my approach and how I walk people through the exercise, and I created a tool for it. And I called it very cleverly the Personal Brand Architect. And it is basically an instructional tool built in ChatGPT that will help walk you through from blank page to a reasonably sharp articulation of your personal brand. So, the way this thing works is you will launch it, right? The link for it is here. You will simply say, "I'm ready." And then it will begin to guide you. And the goal is it will continue to ask questions and go back and forth with you conversationally. And over the course of about 30 to 45 minutes, you should end up with a personal brand statement that you feel pretty good about. And that is the written word personal brand statement. And that goes in places like your resume, that can go in the about section of LinkedIn, right? But don't stop there. What I then want you to do is tell it that you want to create a conversational version of this. And I want you to specify that this is an elevator pitch sized section, right? Or version of your personal brand written in conversational language that sounds like you. And what I tell members of Gray Matter in our personal advisory boards is, if I said to you, please recite the Pledge of Allegiance, with no further prompting than that, you could probably just say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Right? Simple. It's automatic because you've had to repeat it so many times that if someone asks for it, you could just rip it off. That is the idea of your elevator pitch, which is derivative of your personal brand statement. So I want to make sure that you come out with a conversational version. Why? Because I've interviewed a whole bunch of heads of HR about what it takes to get roles in their organization, how they go about reviewing candidates, comparing notes, and so forth. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I mean, I have, but I don't know if you've ever experienced this, where you show up to an interview and maybe you have an elevator ride with the head of HR, and that person says, tell me a little bit about yourself. The number of people that struggle with that very simple, very obvious, presumably expected question is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. So, if you've done this exercise and you have a conversational version of your elevator pitch, then when someone asks you for it, you can just deliver it. And here's another insight that I heard, which is the number of times that HR people hear the following story. I asked this person to tell me a little bit about themselves, and they told me this. And then another interviewer says, that's funny, I asked them the same question and they told me that. And the two things aren't the same. That's because you're trying to deliver it off the cuff. And maybe you're so clever that you're thinking about this person versus that person versus the next person. But to them, you're giving inconsistent answers. And the other thing that people do is they ramble and tell this whole long story. I was born in the Dakotas. I was raised in a farmhouse with 5 members of the family and a dog named Spot. I went to elementary school here, right? Like, people will tell their entire life story. So go through this exercise, use this tool in very short order. It will help get you to probably a B, if I'm thinking academically, a B version, right? A B grade version. You can touch it up, and then boom, like that, you can use it on your resume. Like that, you can use it on your LinkedIn, and then tell it you want to create a conversational version and help it understand what your voice is and what you sound like and how you want to come across. And then once you've got that, I want you to walk around saying it constantly, as if people think you're insane because they keep hearing you mutter these things. But until it's as automatic as something as simple as the Pledge of Allegiance, you don't have it. But once you do, anyone, right? Could be you're introduced to someone in a bar and they're like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Elevator pitch. Who I am, what I'm all about, what my capabilities are, the impact I can have to society and organizations and all that kind of stuff. Okay? So this is a fantastic tool. It is not rocket science. It is not the end all be all, but it is a fantastic tool to go from blank page to pretty good, then to elevator pitch in just a few steps and definitely inside of an hour. I hope it works great for you. Let me know the results.